Let me introduce the first presenter today, Alexandra Kuzmina. She was the first one to volunteer to present, so thank you so much, Alexandra. Alexandra is a wonderful teacher from Astana Garden School. So she just started phonics, teaching phonics this year in Astana Garden. So, and the topic is assessment in phonics. So please welcome Alexandra. Okay, I'm gonna give you co-host now, so you can share your screen. Thank you so much.
Okay, can you see my screen? Yes, okay, great. So hello everyone, my name is Alexandra, or how my learners call me, Miss Alex. So this is me. This is the school I work for, so that's Astana Garden School, primary. And this is the part of my first graders. Fun, yeah, and interesting. So, and before we start, I would like to ask you for some participation. So you can text in the box, so you can just unmute yourself and answer some of the questions. And let's define the typical phonics learner. And first of all, I would like to ask you what the phonics learners are like. I mean, in terms of their personality or their personal traits. So what do you think? I'm sure you have the first graders, or if you work in the kindergarten, 5 years old, where phonics can be taught. So what are your ideas? What are the learners like?
Very energetic.
True, yeah, that's true. Any other ideas?
Curious.
Yeah, that's also what I've had. So, and I'm going to show you my ideas here. So I think that my guys are really fun and brave and cool and curious, and they absolutely academically zero. So they are like these pretty cute angels, very fun, but naked. So by naked, I mean with zero knowledge. And if we talk about their language abilities, so for the typical phonics learner, what do you think they can and can't do?
They can repeat after
yes,
the
they can.
teacher or after each other.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Good. And someone, yeah, they cannot read. That's true. Yeah,
and they
can't
write.
Yes, absolutely. And here our ideas match absolutely. So talking about my learners, so in Astana Garden School, we have a system of phasing our learners. It means that we have at least 3 levels or 3 phases. And I'm lucky to teach phase number 1, which means where the learners are, so they can't read even in their own language, in Kazakh or Russian, and they cannot read in English, they can't write, and they cannot even say their names in English, so they do not know any letters. Just some of them may know some words like colors or numbers, and that's it. So, and yeah, so the topic of our session today is, help me here. Though Sanja has told before.
I'm so sorry, I spoiled it.
That's okay, that's okay. Yeah, and I'm going to show you one picture behind this box too. And this picture represents me at the very beginning, at the beginning of September, when I started teaching phonics. So that was me. I didn't understand what I can assess. So assuming the personal traits of my learners and assuming their level, I cannot use the like general assessment tools and assessments, the skills that I can assess. For example, I cannot assess how they write or how they read or how they speak, their fluency and accuracy and stuff like that. And I wondered, like, then what can I assess to see the progress of my learners? And if they're, so one more question to you. So any ideas, what can we assess, assuming that our learners don't know anything in English? How can we follow their progress? Yeah, I know that's hard. I had the same confusion. And what helped me actually, oh, I have one answer. Saying sounds out loud, yeah, how accurate they pronounce the sound, that's true. Yeah. And what helped me here is the teacher guide, actually. So, and I would like to present you some theory taken from the first steps from phonics to reading teacher's guide. And there are 6 skills areas that are recommended to be assessed. Let's have a look at them quickly. So the letter knowledge is definitely the ability to recognize letters and associate letters with sounds. So the second one is the oral language proficiency, but this is where this is the hardest one. This is actually speaking the language. So reading comprehension, reading the text and understand the meaning of the text, which is also not at the very beginning of teaching phonics. Phonemic awareness, we discussed this with Susan, yeah, so the ability to hear the sound, manipulate sounds and words. And finally, fluency, not finally, fluency in reading. So this is automatic ability to read words in connected speech. Susan mentioned this part talking about the analytic approach in phonics. Yeah, and decoding. So this is a very interesting one. So this is the process of using letter sound correspondences to recognize words. And it's not only about reading correspondences. I mean, when they see the letter and they can say the letter. So this is one correspondence, but it also can be they hear the letter or the sound and they can pronounce it, or they can write it, or they can hear and write. Yeah, so they are different correspondences that we can play with and assess the learners with. And talking to the, my assessment in the classroom, it can be written or oral, but it's definitely always informal, observational, and formative. We are not using summative assessment with the first graders, and according to the teacher's guide, so it is not recommended even, yeah, in the phonics. So, and what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you different formative written and oral assessment tasks, which I did with my learners. And I'm going to show you their works and some videos. And while you're watching the videos or looking at the work, I would like you to think of these skills. I mean, which skill I tried to assess there, which skill I tried to assess there. And so this is the first one. All my materials today are taken on the example of one of my learners. Her name is Diana, and she's an average learner. So I decided to take just one pupil so that you could see the progress she's making for like September, October, November, 3 months. Okay, so that was done somewhere in the middle of September. So that was the written task. In the first exercise, they had to listen to the words I'm saying, and they should circle the sound these words starts with. So we can miss number 2 because it's not actually about reading and phonics. But in number 3, I showed them the flashcards, and they had to name either the letter or the word on this card. And let me show you the video. So here I put the lists of the skills. So you, while you're watching the video, think what skills were assessed. So can you see the video player? Yeah? Okay, great. Let me put the sound.
Train. Snake, yes. Igloo. Okay, thank you. Sit down.
Okay, so that was Diana, very, very shy girl at the beginning of September. Okay, what skills do you think I assessed with the first and the third exercises?
Phonemic awareness.
Absolutely correct. And the first one, yeah.
Letter knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. So, and also decoding when they hear the sound and then try to find the sound here and circle it. It's not writing, but anyway, very like close to the decoding. Yes, that's right. Okay, so the next written work. So in the first part, Diana had to trace the learned letters. And in the second one, she had to look at the picture, tried to read the word, or at least to recognize this word, to remember how it sounded, and write the first letter of the word. And what I here, there is one video here, but it's not about performing the task. So as Astana Garden School working in accordance with IB or PYP standards, so our students collect their own portfolios with their favorite works. And each work in the portfolio should contain the teacher's feedback, like I did here, and the learner's feedback. But as we are talking about the first graders who cannot write their feedback, we decided to film them. And this is what Diana says about this work. In Russian, I'm sorry, Diana can't speak English.
Чему ты научилась в этой работе?
Я научилась этой работе, как по-английскому эти цифры, буквы, это буква Р, это Т, это Ф, это
Okay, till the end of the video, she's trying to remember the T sound. Yeah, finally she did it, but it took her some time. Yeah, so returning to the skills, what skills were assessed here in this task?
Letter knowledge, decoding.
Yeah, and again, the phonemic awareness. Yeah, that is true. Okay, so the next one. So I'm going to show you 2 videos, I think. Yeah, we have kind of tradition with my learners, and they really like it. So every 2 or 3 weeks, I film them individually, showing them the cards with different words which they need to read. And the good thing here is that the words I prepare for them are completely unfamiliar to my students. I mean, they do not understand what these words means. I mean, it is good because they cannot guess the word. They have to read the word. They have to understand what letters they are, to put them together and pronounce the word. So that was done at the end of October, so at the end of the first term. And so this is the video.
For hand.
Very good.
Him.
Very good.
Miss.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Sit down. Okay, so you can see that Diana still confuses her sound, but she confuses them with Russian letters. Yes, instead of h, she says n, and instead of sound, she says a. Like instead of ham, she says hum, for example. So, but nevertheless, so which skills were assessed here?
Reading.
Reading.
What kind of reading? Fluency in reading or reading comprehension?
Fluency.
It's not
Fluency.
comprehension. She's not understanding anything. No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and most of them are the same, like decoding again, letter knowledge again, and yeah, the new one added, this is the fluency in reading. And absolutely the same task, but it was done in the mid of November, just 2 weeks after the previous video, not 3 weeks, yeah, 3 weeks after the previous video. And look how she's doing now.
Sam. Do.
Very good.
Chen.
Ten.
San. Ya.
L.
Leo. Leg. Road. Road. Bus.
Not
Bus.
Bus. Okay, very good. Thank you. Good job. Okay, what do you think? Is she doing better than in the previous one? Yeah, I hope she's doing, yeah, and she feels much more confident reading the words, and she's not afraid to make a mistake or to ask me if she forgets one of the words. And if we talk about, yeah, she looks more confident. Yeah, someone wrote in the chat. Yeah, thank you that you noticed that. So talking about the skills, yeah, absolutely the same that in the previous video. Yeah, that's true. So this is what I can share with you about some individual assessment. Yeah, sometimes, as I mentioned before, the assessment can be like formative, observational, in the game activities, and they can be like pair or group activities. And for the next one, so I'm going to show you the video, not only with Diana, but with other learners. And yeah, now you have 2 tasks. you watch the video and you think of the skills, and also watch the video and try to understand the rules of the game. So what instruction I gave them to do this task. And here you go. Alicia, what's your word? Tamerlan, what's your word? Rag. Okay. Tamerlan. Diana, what's your word? Miss. Very good. Sophia? Me. Milk. Very good. Okay. Yes. To frog, to frog. Alana, what's your word? Lee. Lit. Where? Lion or frog? No, 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 no. Lion. Lion. Sabina, what's your word? Diana, help. Sabina. Le. It's g. Leg. Is it for lion or for frog? Frog. Yes, very good. Okay, so what do you think were the rules of the game?
Was it like recognizing the target sound, and then if the sound is present in the word, they feed it to the frog?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the lesson when we learned L sound, and I gave them small cards with the word on it, and they had to read the word, and if it starts with L sound, they feed the paper line with this word, and if it starts with any other letter but L, they feed the paper frog with this word. Yeah, that was the rules. Okay, what skills do you think were assessed here?
Reading fluency. They need to be able to read the word.
Yeah, that's right.
Letter
Phonemic
knowledge.
awareness.
Yeah, letter knowledge
Visual
and absolutely right. All this. Yeah, all this. So decoding, they have to, they see the word, so they see the written script of the word, and they have to produce it again to decode something that is written into the oral something. Okay, and another task. The same questions to you, the skills and the rules of the game. So what are the rules? I think here it would be much more easier. That's it, very short one. So what do you think the rules were?
They must
Knowledge.
make up the sentence. Make up these words.
Yeah,
Decoding.
correct. Yeah, and do you think I showed them the word or I pronounced the word?
You are pronounced it, I think.
Correct. And this one, that was the first word when I asked them to compose my name, and that was really fun because they still think I'm Alex, not Alex, but that's okay. Yeah, and on skills, someone said decoding. Yeah, that's true.
Letter knowledge also.
Yeah.
Phonemic awareness.
Phonemic.
Yes.
Yeah, phonemic.
Yeah, you named all three of them. Yeah, that is, so if you see at the tasks I've shared, so I didn't assess oral language proficiency because it's too early for me and for them to assess here. So because they can understand some simple questions, but mostly they answer yes or no, or they can say some short, like they can name the colors or the numbers, which is not real. Yeah, which is not about fluency at all, yes. And so reading comprehension, of course not, because we are still learning to read some simple one syllable words, and they do not understand what the words mean, and not talking about the text. And as for the others, so yeah, these 4 skills are more or less assessed during the first term, and we continue doing it now. So, and this is mostly the end of my presentation. I want to draw some conclusions here. So first of all, I understood that students shouldn't know that they are assessed. So for example, whenever I turn on the camera, so they know that I do it for their parents, and even though they know I do it for their parents, they are very shy at the moment I turn on the camera, and they forget everything they did like a minute ago. Yeah, they can't remember any word, any sound, and so the less they know, the better. So it's not possible to assess all skills at once. That's just when I think about the assessment, I try to produce the tasks so that I can assess at least 1 or maybe 2 skills, but definitely not everything together. And I want to say that assessment is very important for 3 of us: teachers, parents, and learners. So as for the teachers, we see where we are going, what we can improve in our teaching, and if we're doing well or not really. And it's also important for the parents to understand where their children are going and what they pay money for. And I put here the teacher-parent conference. So it was like in our school, in Astana Garden School, the teacher-parent meeting is individual meetings. So when the teacher is like one Saturday of the term, the teacher is at school from the early morning till the very evening. And the parents come and talk individually to the teacher about their kids' progress. And when I was preparing for that conference, I had to prepare information about each learner, and I had to explain to the parents what we're doing and what is being assessed. So that's why I couldn't say, okay, we've been learning for 2 months, but yeah, your kids are still there. They can't write, they can't read. So this is not what parents want to hear. So that's why I had to explain the skills to them and explain what we're doing and where we will be at the end of the year. And of course, assessment is very important for the learners, even though they do not know that they are assessed. So in terms of that portfolio I mentioned before, our learners love to share these portfolios with teachers, with other teachers, and with parents, saying, look, this is what I did, this is what I learned. And so they are happy sharing these things. Okay, I think that is all from me. If there are any questions, I'm ready to try to answer. And thank you so much for participation and for your answers and for your attention.
Thank you, Alexandra. This is wonderful. I was going to ask, how do you give feedback to children? Is there any other way to give them feedback besides the portfolio? So for small children, yeah.
Yes, of course. If we talk about portfolio, there is only like one work they choose, one work per month they choose for their portfolio, but every lesson, like at the end of the lesson, we have feedback session where I asked them what they liked, what they didn't like, what letter was learned, what words they remembered, and was it difficult for them to write or to say this word? Is it similar to other letters we learned? And it's always oral feedback, and it's in L1 for now. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
There
have a
is some-
question.
Yeah, yes, please.
First of all, thank you very much, Alexandra, for your session. It was really
Thank you.
informative, very informative. And my question is, it's obvious that Kazakhstani students, English is not their first language. And how you like explain some, I don't know, activities or instructions to do, do you conduct them not of course fully in English, but how you like explain them the instructions? Will you say first of all in English, then translate it, or like how do you deal with this?
Thank you so much, Gurjan, for the question. And they see in the chat that Ainagul has a very similar question if I use the L1. Of course I do, because as I mentioned before, like my learners are phase 1 learners, so they do not understand anything in English, but every time I try to reduce L1 using in the classroom, and as talking about the instructions, so I give instructions in a very short sentences. For example, here in this task about frog and lion, I told them that frog is hungry, lion is hungry. This is the word, read it. They know the word read already, so read it. Is it, and I always demonstrate, lit. What is number 1? What is number 1? And they say L. I said, okay, lion, lion. And I put the paper into the lion's mouth. And I take another word which starts with F, for example. And I ask them to read. And I ask them, for lion? And they say no or yes. And so according to the situation, I give the instructions again, or we start working, but it's not always the true. Yeah, sometimes I have to switch into Russian to explain what we need to do.
Okay, it's clear now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And there is one more question in the chat. Please, could you tell me whether it's it is a grade 1 or grade? It's 1. It's grade 1. So the learners are from grade 1. Thank you, Ms. Tamara. Okay, and yeah, I think that's all with the questions. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the listening.
Alexandra, for the wonderful presentation. It was highly interactive. I loved it. I learned a lot myself, and thank you so much. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining again. We have 2 more. So now let me introduce Tamara.
Sandra,
Tamara,
can you hear me?
yep. Yes.
Sorry, I think there's something wrong with my mic, but I was asking a question to Alexandra, a very quick one.
Yep.
Alexandra, a really eye-opening session for me. Really, thank you so much. I'm very curious. Do parents ask what kind of programs you use, or do they differentiate between phonics and other types of, or to them it sounds like they're just learning English? Do you like inform parents that you're specifically using phonics over other programs?
parents do not differentiate, they do not see the difference among all the programs, but I do tell them that we're using phonics and what kind of phonics it is. And I even explain sometimes, yes, to some parents who ask a lot of questions, the difference between the Singaporean phonics and British phonics, and that our phonics was created for both native and non-native speakers. Yeah, usually I explain what we're doing, and because they ask, you know, parents always want to see their child speak English, and I had to explain that till this speaking part, we had to spend some time on this, and yeah, to make them understand where we are and what we're doing.
Okay, and this is the second year that phonics is being implemented in Astana Garden, right? Or is this the first year?
Second, but I'm working for Astana Garden School the first year only.
Okay, so basically you have been teaching for 3 months with this program, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So we're looking forward to these children reading by